Choosing good fonts is a fundamental part of graphic design. Unfortunately, the current interfaces haven't changed for decades and don't help much. Hundreds of fonts are just listed in alphabetical order. Online font repositories are even bigger. There are literally hundreds of thousands of fonts available on the web. We are developing better ways to select fonts. What if you could just describe the style of the font you want, such as a playful one, or a formal one? We also show example fonts for each attribute and its opposite to show what they mean in this context. Of course, most fonts aren't labeled with attributes, so we built a method to automatically compute them for any font. We first select a small number of fonts. Then we use crowdsourcing to collect human opinions on attribute values for these fonts. We then take this data and feed it into a machine learning algorithm that learns how to map from the shape of fonts to their attribute values. This model can now take an arbitrary number of fonts and automatically compute attribute values. This approach can scale to any collection of fonts, including the one on your computer at zero cost. Now let's see how our interface can be used to select a font for this party invite. I'm going to want a font that is playful and fun, so I select the playful attribute. The interface shows me a list of fonts from the most playful to the least. In this prototype, we ignore the font's name, which isn't very informative, and instead show the word hand gloves. Typographers often use this word to show a number of letterform properties in compact form. We can already see that many of these fonts are pretty good for this invite. Though there are a variety of font styles, from more casual handwritten to more formal script, they are all pretty playful. I can add fonts that I like to my favorites list so that I can revisit them later. I'm now going to add one more attribute. I want a font that, along with playful, feels genuine and modest, so I'm going to add not pretentious to the attribute list. We can see that most of these fonts now fit the design pretty well. I like this one quite a bit, but I want to see if there are similar fonts that might work better. We developed a method to automatically compute the similarity of any two fonts, also using crowdsourcing and machine learning. I can click this button and the most similar fonts are now shown in the list. None of the available fonts are very similar, but they all have a similar personality, and most fit the design well. In this case, I'm going to choose this one. This interface is great when you can describe what you want, but sometimes it's hard to associate a word with your desired font. So we also propose a second interface for when you can't describe your font, but will know it when you see it. Let's switch to this new design for which I need to choose a title font. In this interface, we organize all our fonts into a hierarchical menu of visually similar fonts. We have 12 top-level groups of fonts. Within each such group, we have a set of mid-level groups, whose fonts are even more similar to each other. All the fonts within each mid-level group are shown on the right. By mousing over the different groups, I can quickly get a sense of the different options. In this case, I can see that these two top-level groups have the overall look I'm going for. In particular, this mid-level group looks like a good place to start. I want separated characters, so I choose this font. The interface now shows the font in the design, along with a number of other fonts listed in order of similarity to the one I chose. I can see that a number of these fonts would make a good choice. In particular, I like this one, so I asked to see other fonts similar to it. These fonts are good choices, but in this case I like my original one. In this video, you've seen 3 new techniques for searching for fonts: attributes, a menu of font groups, and search by similarity. We believe that these interfaces improve substantially on the current standard interfaces for exploring and choosing fonts. Please visit our website where you can see our SIGGRAPH paper for more details and play with the interfaces yourself. Thank you.